Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Time Out Overtime on the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel. I'm Rick Arsenal. If the live and direct, by the way, from the Frank Beck Chevrolet Studio Annex. If you haven't done so yet, please hit the like and subscribe button down there. Thank you very much. I trust everybody had a good Christmas. The weather has taken a dramatic turn for the worst, hasn't it? This something. Anyway, uh, we're going to focus mainly, I guess, on the Lions today. I've got some things to say about them, what they're, where they go from here. Um, anyway, let's get a couple of things out of the way here first. Michigan and Michigan State are both finally in action tonight after a bit of a Christmas break, if you would. I think Michigan is, they're both playing at home. I think Michigan is playing McNeese State, pretty good team. And the Spartans are taking on Cornell tonight. I think both get underway about 7 o'clock. Pistons are in the final leg of a West Coast trip out west. Right now they're 24-8. They're a game and a half ahead of the Knicks. They've lost two straight. I think that may be the first time this year they've done that. As I said, they're 24-8 right now, a game and a half ahead of the Knicks. They've got the Lakers tomorrow night in LA on the final leg of this 5-game, 8-day West Coast swing that they're on right now. A nice win for the Red Wings yesterday, beating on a goal by Evanson in overtime, beating the Maple Leafs 3-2. By the way, the Red Wings in overtime games this year are 7-3. That's pretty good. Anyway, they've got 49 points right now. The second most, actually, they're tied with the Hurricane in the Eastern Conference for the best record. Hurricane are above them right now because they have one less loss. So they did lose to Carolina the other night in Raleigh. Michigan has their man. Kyle Whittingham had a presser yesterday in Orlando. He has said until the conclusion of the bowl game on Wednesday, he will pretty much stay out of the way, which is proper. He said all the right things. Michigan needed an adult in the room, folks. They needed an adult in the room, and now they have one in Kyle Whittingham. 66-year-old Kyle Whittingham won 177 games while at Utah. A graduate of Brigham Young, by the way, and that's a pretty good rivalry between Brigham Young and Utah out there. So, Wolverines needed an adult in the room, and now they've got one. Okay, this was the best guy they could have brought in. Really, it really was, and you had to like everything he said at the presser yesterday. He said why. It was kind of a no-brainer coming here because it's Michigan. As I said, the man, 66 years old, certainly doesn't look his age at all. Friday, they had to have somebody in place by Friday because that's when the portal opens. I think he will be bringing some players with him from Utah. He retired when the season ended, and I think he was just waiting for the right opportunity, and this is it. I don't think Michigan had to. I don't think they had to ask him more than once if he was interested in the job. He said he would pretty much be bringing in a new staff. He might retain a couple of former staff members who will be maybe coaching their last game on Wednesday, but be interesting to see what he can do with Bryce Underwood. Look, Sharon Moore, you hope the man gets his life together, gets his act together, and our thoughts and prayers go out to his wife and 3 young daughters, and you just hope there's a happy ending to all this for Sharon Moore. He's due in court, I guess, on January 22nd. Never should have gotten a job to begin with. He really shouldn't have, and excuse the voice, by the way. Apparently, there's something going around. Yeah, it's my understanding that the flu bug has really hit the Detroit and surrounding area pretty hard this holiday season. So if you haven't gotten a flu shot yet, you might want to think about getting one because, and that particular strain of flu that's going around this year, I guess it's pretty rough. So get that flu shot. No. Anyway, I think Michigan is going to be just fine under Kyle Whittingham, and he said all the right things at his press conference yesterday. I'm excited. I'm excited for Michigan football next year, and I think between Michigan and Michigan State, they both got themselves a couple of good coaches. So somebody took a jab at the state hire of Fitzgerald because he hadn't coached in a few years. And his last couple of years at the Northwestern weren't all that hot. Of course, he was involved in that hazing scandal, which he was later exonerated on. So let's hope they're both competitive. Okay. So in the meantime, we have a couple of really good. It's a good year around here for basketball between Michigan, Michigan State, and the Pistons. So and the Red Wings, by the way. Who would have thought, by the way? Right now, as we stand, the Red Wings and the Pistons are in first place. University of Michigan is ranked number 2 in the country. I think State is ranked number 9. I would have thought that would be the case, and the Lions would finish in 4th place, in last place, out of the playoffs. You know, that's not. We would not have predicted this, really. I didn't see it coming for a team that was, when the season began, supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. Hey, we'll get to the Lions after we get our sponsors out of the way here first. My problem right now is I've got too many papers and notes here to read. Finish Line Family Restaurant, our newest sponsor. Don't forget the new menu items, new hours. Monday, Thursday, Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Get in there and try all the new menu items. Cajun chicken wrap, kicked up BLT if you would. It's sensational. Darcy burger, new daily specials, homemade spinach and artichoke dip, grilled cheeseburger with the brisket blended burger mix. It's all good. Finish Line Family Restaurant at Carlton Road in Hillsdale. Everything you want in a family restaurant. Award-winning breakfast served all day. And of course, wouldn't you know it, I had a commercial keyed up here and ready to go, and we lost it momentarily, but we've got it back. Fast, friendly service, great family atmosphere. Well, as I said, award-winning breakfast served all day. I'm going to try to get by with this voice the way it is. I apologize for that, but Finish Line Family Restaurant for more than 40 years on Carlton Road in Hillsdale. And remember, when you dine at the Finish Line, you'll always finish first. I guarantee you that. I'll see you there. Okay. We're also brought to you in part by Frank Beck Chevrolet and on N99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. And you've got just a few days to take advantage of Chevy's reg tag sales going on right now at Frank Beck Chevrolet. You get 0% financing on 2026 Equinox, Trailblazer, and 2026 light-duty Silverado pickup trucks. Plus, you don't make your first payment for 90 days. You want more? How about bonus cash? Bex has up to $3,000 available to qualified buyers on the 2026 Silverado light-duty. As always, see the dealer for complete details. This offer is good through January 2nd. That's this coming Friday. And, of course, Happy New Year from all the gang at Frank Beck Chevrolet and M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville, and on the web at frankbeckchevy.com. As always, come to experience the Frank Beck Chevrolet difference. Chevrolet together, let's drive. Chevy Drive, Southern Michigan. Frank Beck Chevrolet is the #1 selling Chevrolet dealer in our immediate tri-state area. We're also brought to you in part by Barrett Insurance on M99 at US 12 in Jonesville. 517-849-1000, barrettins.com. Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. M99 at US 12 in Jonesville. 517-849-1000. Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. That's barrettins.com. If any of you watched the Lion Viking game on Thursday and Christmas Day. Bad enough that the production of this farce of the game was subpar by Netflix. I think it was very good at all. The game itself was a real stinker. If you'd have told me Max Prosper, third string quarterback for the Vikings, would have had 51 yards passing. 51 yards passing. When you add in the 7 sacks that the Lions had, 7 sacks for 48 yards worth of sacks, you've got to subtract that from his total net passing yards. That left him with a total of 3 yards net passing. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 3 yards passing. Yet somehow the Lions managed to lose this game. Going into this game, the Lions had the second fewest turnovers in the NFL with 8. Christmas Day, they had 6. A fumble by Jahmyr Gibbs. Goff was bad. I don't know 2 ways about it. A couple of picks, 3 fumbles. Oh, but yeah, those weren't really his fault. That jackass center he had didn't know what to do, centering the ball when he hit Goff in the knee. I mean, he just I don't know who these guys are on the line right now. Tecker didn't play; he was sick, so it was just a complete total mess. Dan Skipper had to take Decker's place again. This was about as bad as the Lions have ever looked under Dan Campbell. Really, it really was. It reminds me of that old nursery rhyme about Humpty Dumpty having a great fall, and all the king's men and all the king's horses couldn't put it back together again. It's kind of that way with the Lions. So where do they go from here, really? Where does this team go from here? The offensive line is a mess. You're going to have to rebuild that. By the way, the game this Sunday, the last game of the year for them with the Bears, has been moved to 4:25. I don't know why. Maybe there's something relevant as far as the Bears go, as far as this game goes. NFL, the games this weekend, we've got some very significant games going on. I'll get to that in a second. Right now, I've got the Lions schedule for next year. We know who they're playing right now. Home games. Keep in mind, one of these games will be in Munich. Okay. Of course, Bears, Packers, Vikings. This is at home. Bucks, Saints, Patriots, Jets, Giants, Titans. Again, one of those games will be in Munich. Road games away, of course, again, Bears, Packers, Vikings, Falcons, Panthers, Bills, Dolphins, Cardinals. Okay? So they're playing a 4th place schedule next year. And they'll have a higher draft pick. I think right now they're drafting 14th. I think they're drafting 14th right now. The Decker more than likely will retire. Glasgow won't be back. Brad Holmes, is he capable of fixing this in one off season? I don't think so. Right now, the Lions are the 4th best team in the division, and I think they will be for a while. I really do. And of the 4 coaches in the NFC North, I'd have to rank right now anyway. I'd have to rank Dan Campbell at the bottom as number 4. Who would my top 3 be? That's kind of tough. Well, it would have to be Ben Johnson, who will probably he's already won the division, who will probably be the coach of the year this year. Then Matt LaFleur, Kevin O'Connell, and then Dan Campbell coming in 4th. That's the way I've got them ranked right now anyway. Where to begin? Where to begin with this team? Campbell botching, just messing up the entire Frank Ragnow situation. David Montgomery, you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to you're going to have to tweak Jared Goff's salary for one thing. You're going to have to adjust that, make an adjustment. Right now, they don't have that much cap money available to spend on free agents this offseason. David Montgomery is the 7th highest paid running back in the league right now. And at this point, you'd have to say he's nothing more than a backup. Based on what we saw on social media last week, I think he wants out of here. Okay. Decker and Glasgow will not be back. So right now, it looks like the only lineman who will be back is Penei Sewell. And he's probably going to move from right tackle to left tackle. And by the way, congratulations to Penei Sewell. He and 4 other teammates have made the Pro Bowl again. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Aiden Hutchinson, and Jack Campbell. The Lions, yes, had 5 Pro Bowlers this year. The other 3 teams in their division, the Bears had 3, the Packers had 1, Micah Parsons. The Vikings had none, not even Jefferson. So the Lions had more combined Pro Bowlers this year than the other 3 teams in the division combined, yet the Lions are finishing in last place. What is wrong with this picture? The Lions are nowhere close to where they were 2 years ago, folks. Not even close to where they were 2 years ago. From a quality standpoint of the coaching staff, not in the talent standpoint, on the field, no. Not in the coordinator standpoint. If you can't rebuild the offensive line this offseason, what are you going to do with Jared Goff if you can't rebuild the offensive line this season to where it was 2 years ago? You can win with Goff. He's already proved that. But if you can't rebuild the offensive line, and you've got the same thing next year, you can't run the ball, you can't protect your quarterback. If winning a Super Bowl is their goal, then everything is in play. Everything. But right now, the Lions, as I said, are the 4th best team in the division. And Brad Holmes is going to have to change his method of operation. I'm sorry, he just is. His last 2 drafts have been a disaster. Drafting Penei Sewell and Aiden Hutchinson were no-brainers. They both fell into his lap. He had one good draft. He had one good draft when he took Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell and Sam Laporta and Brian Branch. Okay, I give him credit for 1 year, one good year of drafting. Last couple of years, he might as well have been drafting anybody. Anybody. You got to rebuild the offensive line, and he's got to rebuild the defensive line. Now, DJ Reader's gone. I don't know what you're going to do with Tyleik Williams. He was your number 1 overall pick. Really? To me, they've got one decent linebacker. And there were only 2 players right now. And I don't know. The secondary, you're going to have to totally rebuild the secondary. In short, it's a mess. Okay. Brian Branch will not be available to start next season. This knee thing with Kirby Joseph looks like something chronic, to the point where Matt Derry from Locked On Lions says it could be career-ending. It's a mess. And right now, from the way they look Christmas Day, this team has no interest in even playing for Dan Campbell right now. None. He needs an entirely new coaching staff, including his coordinators. Couple of names. The Vikings defensive coordinator, and a darn good one, Brian Flores, does not have a contract for next year. Poach him, bring him in. He certainly would be an upgrade over to what they have now in Kelvin Shepherd. And if the Bucs don't beat the Panthers on Saturday, I think Todd Bowles will be out of a job. He's a magnificent defensive coordinator. Either Todd Bowles or Brian Flores would be a dramatic upgrade over what they have right now on Kelvin Shepherd. Oh, by the way, before I forget, on ABC Saturday, you've got two very relevant games. I believe at 4:30, you've got the uh, Panthers and Bucks to decide the NFC South, and then at 8 o'clock, you've got the Seahawks and 49ers to decide, well, not just the NFC West, but I think the number one seed in the NFC. And then Sunday night, the last regular season game of the year, you've got the Steelers and the Ravens. Speaking of the Steelers, by the way, you see what happened to them yesterday? They lost to the Browns 13-6. 13-6. All they could muster were 2 field goals. The week before that against the Lions, they had 500 yards of offense. What does that tell you about the Lion defense? I don't know. This Lion team, much like Humpty Dumpty, has had a great fall, and I'm not sure if Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are capable of putting all the pieces back together again. I'm really not. So I am not looking forward to the Lions next season. I don't know about you folks, but regardless of what they do, Brad Holmes is going to have to change his method of operation. And it's a total mess right now. And nothing more right now than a pile of bricks is what this Lion team is. And by the way, Dan Campbell has already said he's not resting any regulars. What regulars? He doesn't have any regulars right now, does he? On Sunday. There's no particular reason to play Jared Goff on Sunday, yet he is. Okay. He darn well better not get him hurt. That's all he needs to have an ACL or something in this last game on Sunday. It's a mess, total mess. But look at the good side of it. We got Michigan and Michigan State basketball. We got the Pistons and we got the Red Wings. Okay. That's going to do it. I'll talk to you all again on, tomorrow. I'll talk to you all again tomorrow and then again on Wednesday under Z. Okay. That's going to do it. As always, please remember to treat each other with respect. I can't thank you enough for watching and listening. Stay warm. Be careful shoveling snow. So until Wednesday, I'll simply tell you all, thanks so much for watching and listening, like I said. Have a good rest of your evening. So until tomorrow, I'll simply say good night, everybody. See you.